Hello and welcome. The year 2015 has been a year many Nigerians would not forget in a hurry. It witnessed a historical change of leadership for the first time. An incumbent president lost elections to an opposition. Violence dominated the headlines in the Northeast. The fight against corruption took center stage as a flurry of allegations and counter-allegations prevailed. The economy had its own share too, from dwindling oil prices to pressured foreign exchange rates. Welcome to Face Off. I'm Nel Taibe. Now we're looking at the year 2015. Is it possible that the entire year had not too many moments of positive excitement? What do we look at 2015 and go away with? There are some who will cry wolf, and there are some who will cry hooray. But then, what would you say about 2015? That's what we're looking at today, and I have two public affairs analysts in the studios to help us look at and examine the year. Mr. Oladeyinde Ario, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. You didn't say that we are brothers.
I haven't even introduced him yet, so let me finish. And Bola Oba, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again.
Incidentally, the two of you are brothers. He said I should say it, so I've said it. I hope you're happy. Okay, let me begin with you as we start off. Your stance, how would you rate 2015?
Well, it's been a year of a lot of the bad and some modicum of the good.
Okay.
As a Nigerian and reviewing the political history of Nigeria, 2015 will stand out as that year that a political revolution took place, a positive political revolution took place in this country.
Okay.
On the whole.
Okay. Okay, we'll take...
The good transcends the bad.
You've taken more than 10 seconds. So we'll take a moment and come back to continue this conversation, reviewing 2015, the positives and negatives. What's your take? We'll be back shortly. Don't go away. Welcome back. We're reviewing the year 2015. Your tweets can come to at Face Off Today or at Nel Taibe, or if they are longer than 140 characters, send us a mail. Well, we're looking at the year 2015, the positives and the negatives. Mr. Bola Oba and Oladeyinde Ario are in the studio. So, gentlemen, you open first, so you ask first.
What would make a Nigerian not believe that 2015 is a landmark year politically for Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much. As you said, I agree with you that politically that we could have a change of government from one party to another, particularly a party that had ruled for 16 whopping years, and according to their projections, we are hoping to still rule for 44 more years, making 60 years. But like a flash in the pan, they lost the election. But notwithstanding, a lot of things between then and now have happened that have left unfavorable colors on our space. For me, if you recall that my last time out on this program, I sang the praises of the Chief of Army Staff to high heavens, okay? And the encounter that the Chief of Army Staff had, the Central had with the Shiites in Zaria, left me with a very bad taste in the mouth for several reasons, which I can quickly elucidate. Number one, I would expect that for him to be passing any road, there must have been an advanced party doing what militarily they call recce, okay, and ensuring that the route is safe. So they failed to do. If they had done that, those guys would not have been on the streets.
All of these are towards the end of the year. I mean, you've moved from politics.
No. I mean, for me, that was the lowest point in the year.
What has defined 2015, especially for me, is the fact that the tide fully turned this year, because for a number of years, say in the last 4 years, we've been at the mercy of a motley crowd of ragtag insurgents who at a point literally took territory as large as the size of Belgium on our territory.
Right.
But it got to a point that even the laid-back government of Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan had to do something dramatic. And the military was belatedly belatedly kitted, and as soon as the military was kitted, they gave the fight back to Boko Haram. And with the new government in place, the madness of corruption and the inhibitive this thing that corruption was having on our armed services reduced, and the tide has turned. We reclaimed all our territory back as it is now. In the past, you would see Boko Haram and the Boko Haram leader standing in front of a convoy of Hilux pickup trucks. We don't see that anymore. The guy is nowhere to be found now. I don't know what may have happened to their studio, to their recording studio. So in a way, our territorial integrity is being reaffirmed. We cannot say it's not Uhuru yet, because lives are still being lost. Bombs are still, IEDs and whatever are exploding all over. But it's far better.
Even in the negative that he has talked about, the shared matter with the army, you still see that?
The shared matter with the army, to be honest with you, I really want to agree with him in some respects. And the reason why I want to agree with him is that circumstance, that situation could have been better managed. But look, we are in no way, let me speak for myself. I am in no way, shape or form rationalizing whatever El Zakzaky may have done. For me, like Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe once said, it takes a madman to be arguing with a man that holds a gun. If there was no ill motive, or if there was no case of collective rascality, they shouldn't be facing the army, for God's sake.
In the first place.
So, but having said that, the use of force was a bit too overly pronounced. But in the area of security, the bigger picture would be how well are we doing with Boko Haram.
Right.
Okay, so on that part, both of you agree, but we're looking back to the political scene. He says the political scene.
Right. If we have to go to the political scene, you remember very early in the day, the election was postponed, if you remember, for what we now know to be mundane and ignoble reasons. Okay? The NSA, the National Security Advisor then, left here, went to London in Chatham House, and he gave some lousy reasons that the military said they were not ready for the election because they were engaged with Boko Haram way back in the Northeast. Unfortunately, by the time Dara Minima, Chief of Army Staff, was leaving the army, and the Chief of General Staff, Alex Badi, and then in their speeches, they said the army that they headed never acquired any ammunition. Now, was it the same army that the NSA said, they were busy at the war front? That was a very slow on the past government. Coming home to the subsisting Dasuki Gate, as we now call it, whereby a national security advisor became a national sharing advisor and was doling out money so painfully at a time we're advocating for e-economy, e-commerce, cashless economy. They could go into Nigeria's central bank and load $47 million into Ghana Must Go bags and move them from the vault of the CBN into his private house. It was the lowest point for me, on that side. And there is nothing anybody can tell me that will make me not to feel they should be dealt with.
As bad as the circumstance he has appropriately portrayed is, I don't know, no sane Nigerian will gainsay his, this of his submission. But if one were to juxtapose all these bad situations with the fact that for the first time in our political history, an incumbent ruling party lost to an opposition party, and the president who lost the election, the incumbent who lost the election, was noble enough, gracious enough. And I'm not a supporter of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. I was consistently antagonistic to the many misdemeanors of his government and the maladministration under his watch. But having said that, I can sit here December 30th, 2015, and thank God that what ordinarily in some African countries could have precipitated a civil war situation did not in our circumstance.
So, again, on the political side, the two of you agree here. But let's move on. Let's look at the economy.
Well, again, from the economic side, I'm a little bit uncomfortable that the Naira had fallen so badly against the dollar. Again, when you look at that, I have not been able to lay any blame at the feet of the president or the present government. Why? Because what would have made for a robust economy that would have guaranteed better exchange rate of Naira against other foreign currencies will be income, foreign income, okay? Particularly from our mono product, crude oil. Unfortunately, it's not a hidden fact that it now sells for less than $30 from an all high of over $100 in the time past. So with that, you must understand that something must give, okay? And I want to also believe that the people concerned, the CBN, the Bankers Committee, and all other, responsible organizations, they must be thinking outside of the box of what to do to arrest and redress that situation. But as it is, it's very unwholesome.
On the economy, I am not going to be very bullish with the way I present my point because, as an entrepreneur in this market and given what is happening generally to the economy, I am not too pleased. The only recent pleasant developments or some few recent pleasant developments that, that I can talk about the economy is the midterm expenditure framework and the budget proposal that the president read to the National Assembly. I haven't said that. I think this government, the present government, lost valuable opportunities. When they came in, they did not quickly define their economic policy. The cabinet was not
Formed in good time.
constituted
Right.
early enough, leaving so many of those strategic decisions to be delayed. Actually ultimately helped, apart from the falling price of international crude, helped to box us in further into the cul-de-sac we are in now. But the only positive part of it for me is that at least they've defined the economic policy in the midterm expenditure framework and the budget proposal. One would only want to believe that they will be disciplined enough to articulate the policies they've defined. But generally on the economic front, no serious-minded Nigerian entrepreneur would want to be too
Enthusiastic.
as at today, 30th of December, the Naira is exchanging for about 400 and something to a pound.
Okay.
Going forward.
We will take a moment here. Let's take a moment and come back to this conversation. Yeah, we're looking at the year 2015, the positives and the negatives. And we've been talking both sides. Incidentally, both of them have agreed that things have been okay politically. To a certain extent, they both agree. They also agree on the security part. They also agree to some extent. But let's see what's coming in from our Twitter handles. Uzochukwu says, baddest bad. It says the year's been baddest bad. That's Uzochukwu. Sakra Basi says, it's in between all. After all, we are alive today. Hope PMB and his machines should be even, not lopsided. Idio says, Haba, Adnel Taigwe, you know now. I don't know. Well, I'll take a moment and come back to continue the conversation. Please don't go away.